Ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereupon, how often has this happened to you? You've bought yourself some new clothes, you've worn them maybe once or twice, washed them each time, and as soon as you take them out of the wash, you find these little tiny holes in them. Where did those holes come from? You're sure they weren't there when you first put them in, and now all your new clothes have got these tiny holes in, so now you've got to either repair them or buy more, or walk around with holes in your clothes. The reason this happens, well, there's many reasons, but basically it's the act of washing that causes these holes in your clothes. Part of the reason is the fact that we use cheap materials. See, cotton and polyester and things like that, they tend not to last too long in the wash. Polyester melts when it gets too hot, and cotton, it gets weaker as it gets wetter. So does silk, by the way, so if you were planning on breaking out of jail using that method in the Shanghai Nights, then sorry, that just won't work. But how do you get around this? I mean, you can't just go without washing your clothes, can you? Well, sort of you can. Of course, you need to wash your clothes at some points, but you can extend the life of your clothes by not washing them as often. And how do you get around washing them? Well, firstly, you don't get them dirty to begin with, but our ancestors actually had a way of keeping our clothes lasting long without washing them so often, and they did this by wearing underclothes. You see, if you've got clothes on underneath the surface clothes that show out to the world, assuming that your surface clothes don't get too dirty, then all you need to do is wash your underclothes, and you can wash them and it doesn't matter if they get holes in or start looking a little bit worn and ragged, because no one can see them because you've got overclothes on the top. Hence why before like the 20th century you'd always have like a chemise on under a dress, or a vest or something, or an undershirt for a man. And further to that, these undergarments were often normally made out of linen. Linen being a material that gets stronger when it's wetter, unlike cotton that gets weaker, so you can wash it more regularly without it gaining too much damage. Linen now is the more expensive material, and so it tends not to get used as much, but back then linen was the cheaper one. And this is something that I've taken up doing myself. You may have noticed in many of my other videos that underneath my regular filming costume, I often have a little white t-shirt showing underneath. That is actually this is my white linen t-shirt. I haven't got it on now because obviously I need it as a prop to show you, and this is just a simple white linen t-shirt, nothing fancy because it's not going to be shown to the world. I need to make a few more of these, so because I need something that's got a lower neckline so that I can wear it when I'm wearing my vest tops or something like that that come down lower, and also I want one that's slightly longer so that I can wear it with a dress. And the idea of wearing things like that is it's going to create a barrier between your body and the clothes. So your clothes, assuming that they're not dirty on the outside, you've not dropped your dinner down them, you can just put them back in the wardrobe and just wear them again the next time you need to. So that's what we're going to be making today. I've got myself 2 meters of linen here, and there are a few little tricks to make it go more easily that I'm going to share with you, but these should be relatively quick. The other one that I made was a 1-day build. I'm doing 2 at the same time, at least 2, probably 3 at the same time now, so it's probably going to take 2 days, 1.5 days maybe. First thing you're going to want to do is check how long you want it to be. So you do that by taking one of your tape measures, placing it on your shoulder and just measuring down as far as you want to go. 58 centimeters is where I normally like to have mine, which goes from the shoulder to my hip. So measure the distance that you want and measure across your shoulder so you know how many shirts you can get across. And then what you want to do is double the lower distance. You can double the sideways distance if you want to, if you're doing it a slightly different way depending on how much material you've got, how wide your fabric is. But I double the distance going from shoulder to hip, so you've got a front and a back. Then the trick with linen, in order to make sure that you cut on a straight line, is you pull out one of the threads. This is tedious and time consuming, and you may want to give this a skip if you're pressed for time. So you measure down exactly how far down you want your top to be on here, double this length up here, and then you find a thread that runs along that length and you just simply put it out, stick in a pin and pull. It takes a while, but once you get it done, then you've got a very visual clean line going across your fabric that shows exactly where it needs to sit and how straight it needs to be. And do make sure that you leave a little bit at the end for seam allowance. After this, we want to mark on where the head hole is going to be. Now the way I do that is I measure the diameter of my head. You can work it out by doing the circumference all the way around and doing maths, or you can just do a rough measure of this Then you take the distance between your two shoulders, or rather the distance across the top of your fabric that you've just cut out, and you take that in half. By going halfway across, then you get the exact centre of the top, and that's where your head is going to sit relative to the two shoulders. You can then use that to draw half of the diameter, so the radius of your head, away from that point on both sides, and cut out a semicircle. With this, what I did was I marked out my head size, and then I just added a couple of centimetres on each side to give just a general t-shirt shape. And there is no front and back to this, it's the same on both sides. If you want your front to be different to the back, which I'm going to do on at least one of these, then you can make that adjustment by marking it out. But if you cut out just that semicircle on the fold, then you're going to get a perfect circle for your head hole. Then after cutting that initial head hole, put it on over your shoulders, so you're wearing it like a poncho, then put on whatever garment that you want to wear it with, and then just take some tailor's chalk and mark on where the neckline falls, and cut out about that sort of size. Remember, there's going to be seam allowance on this, so if you go directly to the neckline where the garment falls, then after you've folded down the seam allowance, it'll sit below and you'll never see it. When it comes to the arms, I like to keep the sleeves very simple, because sleeves, as we all know, are the devil's work. Now, if you want just vest tops, you can just leave it like that. Just sew up the sides, leaving armholes, and you're basically done. What I like to do is keep them short sleeves. You can make them long sleeves if you wish, but I like to keep them short sleeves because you need to cover your underarm in order to, that's where your sweat comes from. So let's make sure that bit's covered. So if you want to get sleeves on there, what you need to do is measure the circumference of your arm at the widest point. Make sure you flex so that you know that you're not going to create it too small and then have really tight sleeves. Unless that's the look you're going for, I'm not going to judge. Once you've got that measure, add a little bit on for seam allowance, obviously, but there is something else you need to consider. I just cut the sleeves out in a rectangle for how long I want the sleeve to be. So measure out how long you want, and that's to be the size of the rectangle you want to cut. The circumference on one length, the length of the sleeve on the other side. But if you just sew that directly into your armhole, you'll have a problem of when you reach up, you'll start pulling on your shirt and it will lift up, and you won't be able to do this, because as you pull it up, it'll pull on both sides and you'll start to get stuck. The way to get round this is to just cut out a small square of fabric. How big you want the square depends on what style that you want. So you cut out a square. The bigger the square that you make, the more poofy and voluminous the sleeve's going to be. So if you want something like a poet shirt or a pirate shirt, that sort of 1700 sort of look, so you're going to want something that's going to have quite a lot of space under the arms. Doing my monkey impression now. So you want quite a big square that you can then sew underneath. If you want something more modern looking like I have here, then you just want to have a small square that you just sew into the bottom. And you sew it in such that the two side seams of your top get sewn onto two sides of the square. The two seams of your sleeve where you're sewing up get sewn onto the other side of the square. With this one that I've made before, which is quite good for me, I've gone for a without seam allowance. This is because my seam allowance is already sewn onto the other side. This is about 6 centimetres long on each side. So the square that I've got here, about 6 centimetres. If you want a more poofy voluminous sleeve, have a bigger square than that. I'm going to go with the 6 centimetres plus an extra couple of centimetres for seam allowance, so about an 8 centimetre on each side square. With all that done, then you're just simply sewing them up. And that, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereupon, is basically it. You do need to make sure that you finish your seams when you're working with linen, especially because although this is a very hardy material and will last a long time through multiple washes, you can see that the edges do tend to fray quite easily. So if you were to leave that, even if you were to just use prinking shears, which is something you can do with cotton fairly easily, then what will happen is it will start to fray, the threads will loosen, and where you've sewn your stitch along the side, that will get loose, and then you'll end up with holes appearing in the side. If you don't know how to fill a seam, this is what you do. Firstly, you take some little snips and you trim one of the sides of the seam allowance so that it's shorter than the other side. You can initially just sew it together so that one side sticks out more and then you don't have to do the trim, but yeah, that's a bit more complicated. So you trim up one side, then you fold the longer side over the shorter side and fold it around itself so that both raw edges are facing inwards. Then you do what's called a felling stitch, where you, after folding it over, take your needle and pick up just 1 or 2 threads of the actual shirt material, then pass the needle through the seam that you've just folded over and pull it tight. That way it doesn't show up on the outside because there's only 1 or 2 threads where the thread actually comes through, and if you've got a matching thread you're never going to see that. But also it secures then that seam down, so no matter how many times this goes through the wash, no matter what you're doing while you're wearing it, those threads that come loose, they cannot come loose very far, and so your stitching stays in place. So without further ado, thanks to the power of editing, I'm going to get Editor Bridget to show you the finished garment. So now that can just sit underneath my clothing, and when I'm wearing things like this, I wear over several days while I'm filming, not several days constantly, but in short chunks, then I can just wash this at the end of a week and wash these more regularly. So if you like this sort of thing where I've taken something more historical and made a modern use out of it, then you may well like this up here where I've made pyjamas using a medieval style of sewing. And if you click this video up here, then that's one the algorithm has picked out just for you. I don't know what that is, the computer's done that. Oh, and if you click this cartoon head down here, then you can subscribe to the channel.